Court, the movie podcast, where Sean
and Mampy
watch shit, talk shit, and most importantly, eat shit. We are the law.
And guess what we wickety saw?
What did we see?
We saw The French Connection.
I thought you were referring to Wicked, the feature film.
No, it was a wild movie. It was wickety wild.
Oh, you were doing a little remix.
Yeah.
We watched The French Connection, directed by William Friedkin, starring Gene Hackman, the late R.I.P.
R.I.P. to the
in his honor.
GOAT.
There were not many movies that looked that exciting this weekend, and we decided to watch an old movie instead.
I think it was a great choice because, I kept checking. I was like, maybe something will pop up. No.
Now, I will talk about one of the movies of this weekend later.
Really?
So you can stay tuned. I did see one of the weekend movies.
Tell me about it.
Also, Roy Scheider, the other big person. And Fernando Rey plays the Frenchman.
Yes. Very French.
Fernando Rey may be not French.
Oh.
Might be Spanish, but he sure plays a good Frenchman.
Yes, I was wondering. I went, is that guy French? Is he really French? Fernando.
I mean, maybe I'm just being using stereotypes.
Yeah,
But
who knows?
Fernando sounds a little less
Not
French.
French to me.
Hey, tweet at us at FoodCourtcast. Let us know, is Fernando Rey French? We can't research these kinds of things.
No, and back then, movies, no one had to be even remotely close to what they were cast as. So
That's true.
They were just like, whatever. He looks different.
Yeah, he's got a goatee.
Yeah.
This guy's certainly French. We watched The French Connection in honor of the late, great Gene Hackman. You had never seen this movie.
No, never seen it. I'd always heard the name,
Yeah, sure.
In passing, I'd be passing conversations. Oh, the French Connection? I was like,
I was
what's that
having
all
French
about?
Connection.
I don't know.
And so you, of all people, are the perfect person to say, what did you think about this movie, Mampy?
It's amazing to see something that people have seen for years. They've known about. It's in the zeitgeist, and yet it has eluded me this long. But guess what?
Yeah?
People of the world, I have seen it, and my eyes have been opened.
In a good way or a bad way?
Oh, in a great way.
Oh.
I went, wow, that was a riot. What a ride.
It's intense, man.
When you think about how much they packed into this puppy and how much cool stuff happens,
100 minutes.
it's amazing.
When you're making a movie,
Wow.
consider to yourself, like, do I really need more than 100 minutes?
I doubt it.
Look at everything The French Connection, one of the greatest movies ever, got done in 100 minutes.
It's amazing. It feels way like it's like, man, there's so much happened in this movie, like from the start to
fast.
it's very good. And for like an espionage type, it's just like, oh, what's going on? Oh, they're going after this guy. Oh,
They're doing lots of stuff like that. Eating pizza or crawlers, eating various foods and throwing stuff on the floor, pouring out coffee, being pissed off, saying
pissed.
slurs, the kind of stuff that a real cop used to do back in the old days.
Yes, you get some
Before all these woke cops.
the woke cops these days. No one's on their iPhone scrolling on TikTok when someone's, committing a crime. All right? They're shooting people. All right? Like
Yeah.
the cops need to be doing.
Hey, what? Hey, quit that.
Look at me when I'm talking to you.
After shooting.
Yeah, they're dead on the ground. I said, put your hands up, bastard. They've already killed him. He's dead.
Put him up, motherfucker.
That's the good old days. Bring them back.
Bring back the good old days of the cops. It's also, now, I think I say this about any old movie, but any old movie that is about something at that time
Yes.
is always feels resonant because nothing changes.
Yeah.
So like this whole movie about the war on drugs and how how much work that goes into the war on drugs and how sort of ultimately futile it is, and it's still makes sense,
Yeah.
Still
Very relevant to
still
today.
relevant to the today. This movie about black people just like being pushed into telephone boxes.
Yeah, that was wild.
And just being taken to jail for like tiny amounts of drugs is still relevant.
Yeah, very relevant.
And it's also interesting because like they are our heroes.
Yeah.
Like Popeye and Cloudy are our heroes, but they're not great.
No, not great at all.
I mean, often bad, sometimes good.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, they're but also strangely they're doing their job for whatever that is worth.
Yeah. For what?
They're doing their war on drugs job. So, and even their captain is like, what the fuck are you doing with your
Yeah.
what are your arrests worth? You arrested some bellboy for having 3 joints in his sock.
Exactly.
I mean, it's true.
The real crime was the sock. Did you see that thing? Hideous.
His sock said bazinga, no thanks.
God. No thank you.
His sock said, I'm okay. Okay, so the plot. I think it's great too. I think it's
Okay,
amazing.
yes. I was waiting. I was like, well, I hope
The
you
plot
like.
is as follows. There's a big shipment of beautiful, pure heroin coming from France to New York. And our heroes, Popeye and Cloudy, are trying to figure out where it's happening and what's happening, and they have no fucking clue. So they're just following everybody. And then many people run after each other or drive after each other. But many people get punched.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
And that's most of the movie without spoilers.
Yeah, I think you're in for a real treat. If you just hear that, you go, wow, that sounds good.
If you haven't seen this movie, which is fine, I'm not going to chastise you. There's movies I haven't seen. You should see it.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's so much fun. It's so intense. It like moves at a speed that you're just truly not ready for. Like there's 2 or 3 different chases that are just, well, there's 2 fast chases. Mm-hmm. Like the first chase is amazing and the car chase is amazing.
Oh, gosh.
But there's many slow chases that are almost as exciting. Mm-hmm. And it's like the kind of thing where like you feel physical effects of the things that are happening on the screen.
Yes.
Like people are running and the way that cutting happens, and it's not fast, but it is like perfectly spaced where you're like, oh, and just how electric the movie is, how fast everything feels, and how real everything feels. I don't know. And it's just a amazing time. So just check out The French Connection if you haven't, because it's spoiler time now.
It is. You are about to be, woo. You'll feel like you've seen the movie after we've talked about it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you'll have seen like a really bad version of the movie.
We were like,
where 2 guys are just like, oh, remember when he's running?
Oh my god, that part.
Oh, it's so cool when he's running.
Unbelievable.
They were all running.
Gene Hackman.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
R.I.P.
Wow. R.I.P., dude.
He used to run.
He used to run. He's not running anymore.
No, he's running up there in heaven.
Yeah, running up there in heaven.
No, I don't know. If I was in heaven, I probably wouldn't run.
Oh, I thought you were like, I don't know if he's in heaven.
I don't know that either, but
we hope.
Fingers crossed.
We hope to be reunited with him. You know, once we're up there, we can do he can guest on the pod. Wait, this isn't heaven.
What the hell? Doing a podcast. That sounds not like hell, but purgatory for sure. It's not heaven.
Purgatory for sure.
But the thing is, for some people listening, not to this podcast, but to a podcast, is heaven. So
Yeah, true.
I guess someone has to keep podcasting.
Some people are in a dark place, and our voices are the light. Reaching down like an angel. Did you see this movie? Nope. Oh, okay, well, we're going to spoil it.
Okay, it is spoiler time. It's definitely spoiler time. And this actually is not a spoiler yet, but it will be a spoiler eventually. I'll accidentally spoil it. My beef lamb gyro, in my opinion, the very best part of this movie, and now it's actually probably not the very best part because I've seen it a lot of times, and the very best part changes over time. But my current beef lamb gyro at this moment is the opening theme by Don Ellis. I remember the first time I saw this, just having my mind absolutely blown by how insane the opening music is. Because there's no, I mean, at least maybe they've changed it, but on my Blu-ray version, they don't play like the 20th Century Fox logo or any of the pre-logos. It is just movie begins with insane music.
Yeah.
It's just like bum, 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 and some horns going boo-wee.
I was like, oh.
Yeah, it feels like yes, you are instantly in a movie. You're like, oh shit,
I
this
love
is
that
happening.
stuff.
And then it keeps on going. And it's kind of smart because the first thing we actually see is like people talking. Which is like, well, okay, that's not that exciting. I mean, it's good.
It's not that exciting.
It's good. There eventually are murders and all kinds of shit. I mean, not far after that. But it is good to let us know that we are in a movie, and we are in a movie that's pretty fucked up and crazy.
It's going to be moving. All right?
And it's like, boo.
Yeah, I love that.
And then there's the other horns that are like slightly sliding up, so they're like almost a little out of tune from each other, and you're like, oh, fuck!
My brain can't make sense of this.
Yes. So thank you to Don Ellis for that. Great job.
Great job, Don. From the moment it started, I was like, whoa, this is crazy.
Yep.
And it shot on beautiful film, looks really cool.
Mamma mia.
The colors are crazy. I will say, I don't know if yellows were just uglier back then, but the way the film picks up the yellows in this, they are disgusting yellows.
Yes.
It's like, ugh, that yellow makes me sick to my stomach.
There's lots of really ugly yellows.
Yeah.
Lots of really horrible greens. It's also like interesting to me because, I mean, I guess this is a time before every outfit had to be in the color scheme of the movie and like that kind of thing, which is sometimes cool.
Sometimes cool.
You know, they do that in Old Boy and it's great. But like, it is cool to just see people like wearing weird colors that like don't always look good together. It's like, oh, this is like people walking by stores that are weird colors. Just like, I don't think that happens.
Nuts. Yeah.
Dude, are any stores colors these days?
Everything's been so like flattened and
everything's
simplified.
tan.
Yeah. The logo's like stick letters. Everything's just nothing. Just take away anything.
Remember that? I mean, you know, there's some better things.
Yeah.
I can't think of what, but I guess racism is slightly better.
Yeah, slightly.
Or at least more clever.
Yes, which I don't know.
It's more sneaky.
Sneaky. And then sometimes not as sneaky. Definitely still as dumb, I'm finding. Just, this is stupid. Why?
Not great, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. But what I am a fan of...
The pizza he eats looks really good, and also the bread he eats looks really good.
I was going to say that. I was like, I'm a fan of the pizza and the bread. Oh my gosh, we're on the same...
Mamma mia, France!
France. Yeah, I was like, is he eating a pizza in France? Amazing. Maybe there's some version of pizza in France that we don't know about. French pizza.
Hey, tweet at us if you're in France. I don't know why you would be, but if you're in France, let us know. Not a dig on France, but I don't know why you would be listening to us if you were in France.
Yeah.
Unless you're an expat. Are you an expat?
Maybe.
Tweet at us at Food Courtcast if you're an expat.
I bet there's a lot of expats there, and I bet France is not happy about it. They're like,
no.
Oh, get out.
That is one thing that continues.
Just
the French.
As, as the French say.
Yeah.
A baguette today will keep an expat away. You can beat them with it. Man, a hard baguette. Wow, that thing.
Ooh.
It's dangerous. Anyway, I loved the movie, and there was a great scene with a baguette. Shortly after the movie starts, you're following this man with a baguette, and you're like, where's this guy going? I wonder what his story is. Sorry, you will not get to know what his story is because his head gets blown off. Well, not blown off, but blasted.
It gets blown through.
That type of violence in old movies, for some reason, it always just makes me go, oh! It's just like, oh!
It's really intense. There's like this teeny tiny cut of just like blood face.
Yeah, oh man.
And you're like, and also the way it is teased. I feel like this is a thing that that this movie does really well. Is like the violence is teased out because this guy with a baguette, he's been following them. He's obviously I don't know if he's a cop or if he's just following them for some other rival gang. Who knows? But he is following them, so their enforcer goes after him, and the guy with the baguette looks up. He sees the gun. He's kind of frozen, and the guy with the gun kind of gives him a look, just like, "Hey, sorry,
it's over."
He doesn't really make a face. He just kind of gives him the benefit of like, hey, you're going to get killed, which is kind of rude. and then he shoots him in the face, and you're like, ah!
It is wild.
Because he just goes, blah!
Honestly, blood face is like sometimes more effective than like straight up showing like, like gun.
Yeah.
I was like, this is pretty scary. It's just like, oh goodness.
It is very scary.
Yeah, very, very good. All of the violence was very intense.
Is that your Euro?
No, my Euro is.
Okay. Sorry.
No.
I'm sorry.
That was a great scene.
Great
way to start.
Ass.
But there's nothing that beats the car chase of the train. That is like one of the best action scenes I've ever seen in my life. I was like,
insane.
Literally on the edge of my seat, like, oh my gosh. And like the camera being inside the car and like showing it like dodging cars. It almost felt like they just sent someone out there. They were like, just drive crazy and we'll film it. Because the way the other cars are weaving out, it just feels so real and like crazy. Yeah, awesome scene.
It's incredible.
Very good.
I think it's the thing that if you don't know about the French Connection, you know about the French Connection is this chase.
Yeah.
Which is right. This scene is amazing.
I couldn't believe my eyes. Truly.
It is hard to tell. I don't know if you know this. Maybe you know this, but Friedkin is sort of notorious for being a myth maker about himself. And there's lots of interviews with him about this scene. And you kind of go, well, obviously it's not total bullshit because they did film something.
Yes.
But sometimes he's like, we were driving at 90 miles per hour and we didn't even shut off the street. And it's like, I think he shut off some of the street.
Yeah, hopefully.
Hopefully. Now, apparently, I also saw like a little more even-headed interview with Hackman, and he was like, we were driving like 70, and we shut off most of the street, but also like some of the side streets, sometimes people would drive up.
Yeah.
And so like, apparently the main master shot from inside the car, plus like the front of the car dodging things, was done just with like the police siren on top. They had just like put one of those guys in and were kind of driving in between the cars. So who knows how incredibly dangerous and terrifying that was. But you definitely feel it.
Yeah.
I mean, especially because he hits like 3 cars as he's going through.
Yeah, I was like, it feels so intense, especially compared to nowadays, like action scenes, which are, there's still thrilling ones, but there's just like a realness that it's just like, it feels so real to me.
I mean, it's probably at least, 50% people being very dangerous.
Yeah.
Just like not doing as good a job of being safe. Because it seems, I mean, a lot of it feels, whether they were going 70 or 90.
Yeah.
When the cars hit each other, you're like, that's pretty hard.
Yeah.
Like, and also there's some shots of like, where Hackman, there's some shots where it may or may not be Hackman. But there's some, like, he slams into a wall at one point, and I think he gets into that, like, accident where the, like, car pulls into him, I think is him as well. Like, you see him through the window, and you're like, okay, well, that's just star Gene Hackman. I mean, he wasn't a big star then, but that's the guy.
It was just, him slamming into the wall, the other car hitting it, I was like, oh, or him going through the, like, stack of, I guess it was like a grocer or something. I don't know what it was. Just like, it was like, this is like psychotic. And it was extra thrilling for me because I see that street and that subway all the time. And I was like, this is crazy. Like, I was like, I've driven down these roads. Like, it just was so wild.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was like this weird connection because they were like, they listed literally the area I live in. Like, they're talking about that. I was like, this is so wild. Now we would notice like stops. And there's the place where I see all the movies we watch. This week was one of the first shots they show going into the city. I was like, I go there all the time. I was like,
wow,
this is wild.
That's cool.
It was fun to see it back then. I was like, that is just so funny. Like how much it's changed and stuff. But the car chase, wow, and like all the action that's happening in the subway simultaneously, and you're like, is he gonna catch him at all? It's just so well done. Yeah, how could he?
I think the thing that I don't remember when I rewatch it or before I rewatch it is that like the car is doing a lot more than it does in my head. Like as I picture it in my head, he's just kind of driving real fast right under the thing. But he's like kind of going on side streets, getting knocked off track. There's some shots of like Gene through the window, looking at the train far away, him trying to catch up. It's cool. It's fucking cool.
Yeah, very cool scene. It's one of those scenes that, like, you could definitely teach in a class and just show that scene. Like, you don't need really the context of the movie. You're just like, this is just, like, a masterful scene. So intense. You're just, like, anxious, like, oh, my God. Like, so the car gets so effed up by the time he gets there.
It is really destroyed.
And he, like, so, like, the train, all the stuff in the train where, like, the assassin guy's just like shooting people left and right. And he's got like the conductor gunpoint, like, if you stop, I'll kill you. Yeah. And then the conductor passes out, so the train just slams into another train.
Just going. Yeah.
It's just so hectic. But then Gene finally, or Popeye, I should say, he finally catches the guy, and he's like, got him gunpoint, but then like the effects of the car chase, he's like, God.
Oh, fuck.
And then
I'm tired.
The guy tries to get away, but he shoots him, and the guy flips down the stairs. It was just so cool. I was like, wow.
It's also like a really striking ending to the thing, because you don't in a good cop movie. Like this is a good cop, in one of those movies he doesn't shoot him, or maybe he shoots him in the leg or something.
Exactly.
But this, he like shoots him right in the back.
Blasted.
He blasts him, and then that guy falls down the stairs, which does make sense. It is in some ways makes sense because he killed a lady. Oh my God, that scene, that messed me up. I was just like, holy crap. It's awful. Whew. He's just taking a walk, and walking back to my kabloom.
Yeah, lady pushing a stroller, by the way. She's like, la la, just gets blasted. Another very intense scene. Gene, like, he's like trying to take a peek, and then like almost gets his head blown off. You're like, this is fucked.
Yeah.
I was like, that was so scary. And that's what leads to the car chase, right?
Yeah.
Incredible.
It's all one big
what
thing.
A sequence. Wow.
I mean, yeah, it's nuts.
It's nuts.
Great job, guys.
Great job. Beautiful
Hey, Will,
work.
all of you people up in heaven, Mr. Friedkin, Mr. Scheider, Mr. Hackman, thank you.
Probably the French guys, I would imagine.
Yeah, Fernando Rey's probably dead. Has to be. Tweet at us if you're Fernando Rey and you're alive. Tweet at us. Actually, if you're Fernando Rey and you're dead, tweet at us.
That would be.
If you are any of these actors, tweet at us.
Please tweet at us.
We would love to hear you at Food Court.
We want to hear your words.
Okay. I'll tell you some other good things about.
Tell me about it.
There's lots of good things, but I could say most scenes.
Yeah, most scenes.
One thing I really love is there's a little more exposition as it goes on, but kind of in the first 15 or 20 minutes, they're not really saying much.
Yeah.
Like they're we see Fernando Rey talking to some guy about a thing, and he's rich. And well, we don't know anything about him other than that. And we see Popeye and Cloudy like run into this bar and grab some people, and they go on a run and they try to find this guy, and they're questioning him. They are, what is the other word for questioning?
Interrogating.
They're interrogating him. And Hackman's got some great bits about, do you ever pick your feet in Poughkeepsie?
Yeah,
which is apparently a real thing that the real guy would say.
Whoa, okay. Yeah, I was wondering. I was like, what does that mean?
Apparently, their like version of good cop, bad cop was also like regular cop, confusing cop, too. So, like, Hackman, or, I don't think his real name is Doyle, but the real-life person would be like, do you ever pick your feet? You ever been to Poughkeepsie? People would be like, what the fuck are you talking about? Why are you asking me these questions?
Exactly.
And then they would go, all right, I'll tell you about the drugs. Just stop asking me these weird questions. Even after that, it's like they go straight from that bust to a nightclub where they see some guys, and then they trail those guys, and they say a few things. They're like, oh, this doesn't look right, and that kind of thing. But they're not like, that guy's a drug guy, this guy's a that guy, and we've got to make sure to follow that guy because that guy's related to that guy. They just kind of follow a guy. And so much of it plays out that way where, like, they're being followed, and that's all you need to know. You just watch them, follow them, and it's just fascinating.
Yeah, it's very, very well put together, and the scenes are so, you're like, do they know that they're being followed? Like, it's very, tricky, and you don't really get a lot of inside scoops on really either side. It's like,
no,
really, I thought that it was well done. Like, that you get a little bit where, like, the drug dealers go to Washington to have, like, a meeting because they're like, okay, we can tell we're being followed like crazy. Which I love the scene with Popeye and the Frenchman. It's so, funny. The way they set it up, because Hackman keeps, like, he has to keep his distance, but not too much, because in New York, you'd lose someone in the blink of an eye, which does nearly happen. When the guy
does eventually happen.
Yeah,
it does really happen.
The subway scene though was cracking me up because he just like gets on the subway. The Frenchman realizes, gets off the train. Hackman gets off the train. They go to this juice stand, which I've not seen any juice stands anymore. I think they maybe.
Why don't they have any? I mean, don't you want grape drink, orange drink, and a candy apple?
That's all I want on the subway, but they don't have. There are lots of churros. You can't get churros and fruit, but eating in the subway, to me, I did do it once when I was desperate, but it is not my favorite experience. Lots of smells, lots of sights you don't want associated with eating. That's my piece on it, but
yeah. Lots of you don't want an apple that also sort of tastes like armpit?
Yeah, it's very like that would be you're eating the the candy apple in someone's armpit and it gets stuck on there. You're like, oh, God.
Excuse me.
You just keep
That's
it.
my candy apple.
That's my candy.
And then you have to lean into the armpit to eat the other side.
Well, I paid for it, didn't I?
I'm taking these hairs with me. These are my hairs. Okay, another thing I like about this movie, of the many things, I love the ending, like, freeze frames with all the history or all the future of the characters. And in, like, a just kind of a perfect way, deflates everything that happened before.
Yeah.
Like, they've done all this work. They've tried, people have died. You know, there's so many people, like 2 or 3 different people have died, maybe 4, who knows? People have died for this. And then, like, it's like, well, this guy didn't serve any time.
Yeah.
This guy got 3 months parole. This guy was in jail for 3 years. And that's basically it. And we never found the main guy.
Yeah, that was wild.
And that's the end.
All that work. Yeah, I was like, whoa. Which, is this based loosely on, like, a real story? Or?
Oh, it's based, it's based absolutely on a real story.
Okay, because when that popped up, I was like, oh, wait, this is, okay, because I didn't know that it was, like, any historical basis, and then it was just like, oh, shit, okay. Wow, dang.
The dudes, I mean, the main characters are based on 2 real dudes.
Wow.
I think their real nicknames are Popeye and Cloudy.
Oh,
if
crazy.
I'm correct.
That's awesome.
And, it's apparently Friedkin I think he read a book about it, and then they just were like, that'd be a pretty good movie.
Yeah, that'd be great.
And then they did it.
Wow.
And it is a good movie.
It's a great movie. I was shocked at how it wasn't very easy to find on the internet. I was like, oh, why is there?
Really?
It was like literally only Apple TV had it. I was like, oh, that's crazy. It's such a good one.
Interesting. Is it just not streaming on anything?
It's not streaming. And it was weird. I regret it now. I could have bought it for $1 more. I should have. I was like, oh, that was a great movie.
Hey, get yourself a Blu-ray.
You gotta get yourself.
I've got the Blu-ray. It's got so many features.
I bet it's great.
I love learning about the behind the scenes. But I've talked a lot about Gene Hackman, and I want to say Scheider deserves points in this as well because he has a rather thankless role. Like
true.
The not insane cop
Hanging out.
the buddy who is not as insane, but he's really good in it, and he's really funny and dry, like especially the scene where he like walks into like he has to break into Popeye's room because Popeye has been locked to his bed with his with his handcuffs by a woman that he has picked up.
Oh my gosh.
I think he's very good in it as well.
Yeah, he does a great job. Very subdued, but you know, still fun. I like to imagine that this is him, a few months before he moved to Amityville to, with Jaws and all that stuff. Amity Island, not Amityville. That's
Amityville. He went to both.
Yeah.
That poor bastard.
Yeah.
He moved from Amity Island directly to Amityville.
That sucks.
Moved into that house.
Fuck. It's a ghost shock.
It's possible.
Yeah, you never know.
You just add some glasses.
Same clothes. Exact same clothes.
Sometimes
I would look at the screen and I go, am I watching Jaws? No, I'm not. But I do like both. I like both of those movies.
Whoa. You like Jaws and The French Connection?
Yeah. I'm a fan of both. I can't tell you which one I like more, but I do like them both.
Oh, that's really tough.
It's hard because Jaws is amazing, but it does not have that car chase. And that's tough. It does have a shark chase.
Yeah.
It's also thrilling, but...
Yeah. It's a real tough one. I think it's probably the last one I watched is the one I like the most.
Yeah, that's good.
Though... Jaws is
classic.
Jaws.
How do you beat Jaws?
I have seen Jaws a lot more than I have seen The French Connection.
Yes, true.
So maybe French Connection still has a little more electricity just because I'm not quite as familiar with it.
Yeah.
I've seen it like 4 or 5 times, but not like 10 or 15, however many times I've seen Jaws.
Oh, man, I can't even imagine how many times I've seen Jaws. Maybe 500,000.
You've seen it 500,000 times?
Maybe. I love that movie.
Even more than The French Connection?
That's what
Say it. Say it, you coward.
You coward. I mean, I think maybe the Jaws has more like rewatchability per time, because I wouldn't throw on French Connection like, a month later. Jaws, I might be like, you know what? It's the summer. Why not?
Let's throw it on.
Back on.
Also, as much as Jaws is about like a child being eaten by a shark, it's like a lot more fun.
Yeah, it is.
The French Connection.
Oddly,
like you kind of feel bad about most of the French Connection.
Yeah, I just
because your heroes are like kind of shitheads, even if they're trying to do the right thing or whatever.
Exactly.
Even if they're trying to, in quotes, do the right thing. But there's still, though during one of the bad scenes. They're all, lots of people are doing bad things in lots of the scenes. But in like the second shakedown scene, when they're in the bar with a bunch of black folk who have like cool hats and jackets, and like one guy has a cool sweater. Before he leaves, he says a very cruel roast that I loved. Before he leaves, there's like everybody's got their hands up. There's just one lady standing there, and he says, "Get your hair done before I come back."
I was like, "Jeez, damn, dude!"
He roasted her ass.
He roasted, and that was such a good trick too, where like you think he pulls out this one guy, and he's like drags him in the bathroom, but it's just an undercover guy.
Yeah,
but then he's still a jerk because he's like, "All right, where do you want it?
I gotta punch you."
Which I've seen in so many movies now where you're like, oh, wow, people have been pulling stuff for a while.
Yeah.
Just taking it from other places, huh?
Yeah, you do wonder. I mean, I don't have the vast knowledge of movie history to know what happened before what, but a lot of this feels like it might be the beginning of things.
It really does, yeah.
I mean, there are plenty of police procedurals before this, like the Sherlock Holmes books are like,
true,
90 years before this, but the grittiness of this movie,
it's pretty awesome.
It feels like it is, anticipates The Wire and all, any other thing like that.
Yeah,
it feels like it exists because this exists.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
I blame it on the French Connection.
Tweet at us. If you are a film historian, let us know about which bits in this movie originated in this movie. Yes. Did the hitting an informant bit originate in this movie?
It seems maybe.
Maybe?
Maybe. I want to know what was the first movie to show someone being shot.
Whoa.
Because I don't know. I mean, maybe I should clarify. Like, bloody shot, not like Old West, like, dead. Yeah, I doubt it. I didn't see anything happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't get into those. I'm like,
are you just pretending?
You think you just laid down. Yeah, right. Oh, yeah, that train's going to come through the screen. Doubt that.
Oh yeah, there's really people leaving the factory at I don't remember the name of that factory. Yeah. That would be a good pull if I remember that French factory they're leaving.
The French factory.
That's really the end of their day of work at Frown.
That's what we're doing for March. Everything's French themed. Surprise, it's all French.
It's March. We're watching all of the original Méliès.
Oh, yes.
We're watching people leaving a factory. A train coming at you. Three or four people walking kind of in a circle at their... It seems like they're having a party or something.
Yeah. French New Wave.
Sure, if you want to get that far into it.
Yeah, we're doing only French films. From now on.
Like the French Connection.
We're calling it French Court. We're changing everything.
It's true. Mm-hmm. Do you have anything else that is good before I turn bad?
I loved the ending before the words coming up where like he's hunting for the Frenchman in the place, nearly shoots Cloudy, and then definitely shoots the other agent who I was like, did that really happen? Because that's fucking crazy.
I don't think that really happened in the real world.
I was like, holy shit.
But still.
Yeah, that guy was never liked Popeye, and Popeye popped him, and he's dead.
It's a thing that I like upon rewatching it as well is that the whole time you're like, who is this asshole?
Yeah.
And then he gets killed, and then you're kind of like, well, he was sort of right the whole time because he was complaining that like Popeye got another guy got killed.
Exactly.
Like it was Popeye's fault that his buddy got killed, and then of course it is once again Popeye's fault that he got killed, and also they stopped this one shipment.
Yeah,
and it resulted in in the death of like 4 or 5 people.
Crazy.
And there'll be another shipment in a few months.
Probably they'll figure out some way to do it again.
Yep. Yeah. Well. Yeah. Fernando Rey's free.
Again,
he's back in France.
Can't tear apart every car that comes in.
No, you can't tear apart every car. Yeah, it's really good.
I just love how it just like Gene Hackman goes off and then, because he's a man on a mission. He's like, yeah, I just killed someone. I don't care. And he's like,
I'm going to go find him. I saw him.
Goes down a hall and then you just hear and just like black. And I was like, I thought honestly was like, if that's how the movie ended, I almost would have been like, wow. Because it's just so powerful. Like, well, what happened? It
is.
Ambiguity. But now, knowing that's true, it is good to know, I guess, what happened. But
I think they give us maybe the best of both worlds. Because that ending is like, oh, fuck. And then the further ending, like the, giving you what happened to everybody else is kind of like, oh, that's even worse.
Yeah, that's even worse.
It was all completely useless.
For nothing.
Everything they did was worthless.
Yeah.
And he killed some FBI agent who was well-meaning and kept saying, oh, this is you killed my friend last time.
Yeah, it's an endless battle.
Hey, we'll get them someday.
Yeah, someday.
If we just keep doing this war of drugs every day,
it's almost
for
like
the rest of eternity.
Why don't we just do a couple months, legalize them all, just see what happens? Mm-hmm. Then it's like, okay, we don't have to go through all this crap to get them in there. Just let them come in, do their thing. And maybe it would be less crazy. Well, maybe for some people, but other people it might be worse. We'd have to see. I
just want to get more taxes for our great leaders.
Yes.
To do the great things they're doing. They're great people, and I want them to keep having more money to, use for whatever they want to.
And I especially want them to take it from me and everyone I know. Just take it all.
Take it.
Please.
Buy more flags with swastikas. I don't know. Whatever you guys are doing. Sounds great.
Yeah, it's working out great. I love
it.
The direction you're going.
We're doing good. But we must have low mains.
We must have some things we didn't like about the movie.
You know what my thing I don't like about it is?
Tell me about it.
I praised Mr. Don Ellis for his opening theme. I think some of the other themes are fine.
Yeah, I feel similarly.
They're kind of fine. The ending one where there's just like weird, spooky horns is really good. Like right before he kills the FBI agent, and there's just like I like that.
Yeah.
But there's not that much music in it.
Yeah, very true.
But some of it is just kind of like, and it's like, this is fine.
This is fine. There was one I didn't really like where like they're waiting for the car to like see if anything's gonna happen with it, and it's just like dun 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 dun. I was like, this isn't really my favorite, but whatever. I get it.
Hey.
There's some themes you're just like, all right, it's just there.
It's John Williams First of all, he probably would have done a really weird theme that might not have fit with this movie at all. But maybe he would have nailed it.
Maybe.
I don't know. Does John Williams do gritty themes?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know.
What gritty movies has he done? Tweet at us at FoodCourtcast. Are there any movies that John Williams has scored about a tough cop?
Tough cop.
He must have at some point. There's like 1,000 movies about tough cops.
Come on. There's got to be one. Yeah, I mean, he's very, at least for me, I just picture like whimsical adventure.
Yeah.
But maybe, yeah, he's got it in him. I mean, sometimes people do crazy stuff. I'll watch a movie and I'll go, Danny Elfman, what the hell? That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't sound like his music at all.
Yeah.
So that's versatility.
Mamma mia, as they say in France. Mamma mia. What's the worst part of this movie?
For me personally, my lowest part of the low main, it was, I just did not really buy that they put the car back together well enough that no one noticed anything wrong. Like, I was like, how are they going to do this? Because they're like, yeah, we got the car back. I was like, wait, they destroyed that car, like ripping it, cutting shit up. I was like, which that scene was good because you're like, where the fuck is this?
Yeah, where the fuck is it? Yeah, it's really good.
And it was the guy's like, well, the only thing I didn't pull off was this. And he's like, come on.
The rocker panels.
The rocker panel. He's like, well, get to it.
Come on, Marv.
He's got such a good yell. Gene Hackman yell was the best.
He really does. It's interesting to hear him talk about this movie because when he began, he was like really unsure about it.
Oh, interesting.
Like he met with, he and Roy went on whatever it was. They went on patrol, I guess, with the real guys.
Whoa. Wow.
And so they got to see them working, and he was kind of like, I don't know if I can be that guy. Like, that guy's really scary and powerful in a way that I don't know if I am. And it's very difficult to picture. I mean, I can't picture any other person in almost any of Gene Hackman's roles.
Exactly.
But like, how?
Yeah, that's wild.
Crazy.
That's wild. They were still working and doing stuff when they made this movie.
I mean, it was quite recent. I feel like it was like 4 or 5 years before that all of the shit had gone down, and then a book was written, and then they're like, let's make a movie, and then they made the movie.
That's what's really crazy is thinking about the real French guy watching this movie.
Oh, I'm sure he was having a great time.
Yeah, he's like, wow, I got away with it.
I remember that. That was great.
That's crazy to think about. Oh, that's a different context.
Oh, remember? Hey, guys! This is when I lost him in the subway.
Yeah. That was so funny when he popped off and then jumped back in. I was like, bye-bye.
The way he jumps is also really funny. He pops off and he goes, whoop,
whoop. Yeah, it's jumps back in.
He makes a little Mario noise.
And when Gene Hackman, the first time he gets up, he like pulls that lady from getting on the subway and he's like talking to her like to trick. Yeah, I was like, that's crazy.
He loves to hit on ladies.
He is out of control.
It really is. I mean, apparently it works since he bedded down that one lady, we assume.
Yeah, I guess.
But the first time he tries it, he's like eating a crawler and he like throws it in this parking lot, and this one lady walks by and he's like, "Hey, let me ask you about those boots." And she just keeps walking.
Yeah,
and he like
right.
he like smiles. You're like, "Oh God."
Some people are really like that. They're just like, "I'll try 1,000,000 times, and if it works out, then great."
I mean, somehow after sleeping on a bar, he pulled over this lady who was on a bicycle from a car.
Wild.
How do you hit on a bicycle lady from a car? That's very difficult.
Fair, because cars and bicycles, very different things. One
Not
has
friends.
2 wheels, one has 4.
How did he even roll down the opposite window?
Yeah.
Maybe he was yelling out his window.
Hi!
Pull over! Do you have any other bad things?
Not really. I really enjoyed the movie. It just flows really well, and you're just like in it, like, whoa.
It's so awesome.
I was amazed by a scene early on where the Frenchman gets off a boat which this seems very nice. I don't think I would be very good at, driving a boat, but he just pulls up, gets out the boat. There's a little thing of water that has like oysters or something. He just pulls one out. I was like, what? And he just eats it. I was like, that is crazy. Wow.
This guy is real.
He's the
real deal.
He's got a little oyster trap that
or something. Who knows?
Oh, wild.
And he just grabs it, and like, it's crazy. He's just like chowing on it while they're talking, tosses it into the sea.
Wow. Do you think I
can't imagine even opening an oyster.
Did he really? Or do you think that was literally just an oyster and he just opened it right then and there? Or did they replace it midway with a easy to open
fake oyster? I have no clue.
I was just like, whoa. Which I have done that before. In Japan, this guy just had a net filled with them, and just like I was like, "Can I have one?" And he just pulls one out and opens it and gave it to me. I was like, "Whoa!"
Wow!
It was the freshest thing I've ever tasted in my life.
Wow!
I went, wow!
Was it good though?
It was delicious. It was like ocean was brought to me, brought into me.
They made me eat the ocean.
They made me eat the ocean.
The Japanese made me eat the ocean.
They're always doing that.
They love that.
They love that.
But Mampy, we can't only talk about The French Connection.
Nope.
We got to talk about the other movies we watched this week, which brings us to a segment called Panda Express Presents. Express yourself about the movies you watched this week. Play the theme song.
Ding 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 bang bang bang. It's time for the Panda Express. Boop boop, because we got some things to express. Ding ding about the things we watched. Ding ding this week. Da 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 da.
Did you watch a movie this week, Mampy?
I did. I had watched a really just on a whim. I was like drawing one night and I was like, I need a little something, a little accompanying movie, something to throw on. What's on the streaming? What's on streaming? Scrolling through. Oh my gosh, I forgot about this old romantic comedy that I saw with my sister when I was little. And I went, I wonder if this is any good. It was called Down with Love, featuring Renee Zellweger and Ewan McGregor.
The Eggers.
Yeah.
Both of the Eggers.
Yes, both of them. And
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
And he was there. It had one of my favorite actors who doesn't get enough acclaim, David Hyde Pierce, I think is his name. So good in the movie. He was very funny. It was.
I didn't know he was ever in a movie.
Yeah, he's been in a few. He's been in a couple. It was kind of like a throwback to like old 60s kind of like love movies or whatever.
Okay. I have never seen this movie.
It's okay.
I've heard it's okay.
It's got fun stuff, some fun bits in it. There's this really weird like reveal at the end where like Renee Zellweger talks to the screen for like literally like 3 minutes straight. It was like the wildest. I was like, whoa, like she is still just like unraveling this like scheme that's been going on the whole. I was like, this is kind of crazy. And then they finally show Ewan McGregor's reaction. It was like a really interesting, and they do like some crazy split screen stuff that I enjoyed. Ooh. But I was like, this one's tolerable. Some of it's okay. Very white movie. I mean, the time was 50s and ish, 60s. Yeah, I was like, whoa. There's not a bit of color here, but that's okay. Old movies. But I had as far as like something to have on while you're doodling, or if you're in a, some kind of entanglement, romantic entanglement, maybe throw this one on because it's not unbearable. Ewan McGregor's kind of funny. He plays he pretends to be a NASA guy who's like from the South, and he's like, my name's Zip Martin. You're like, this is crazy. It's a crazy movie.
You sold me on that.
So yeah, I don't know why. Sometimes you just throw something on and you're like, I would never watch this otherwise, but why not?
Happens to me all the time.
Oh, I also tried to watch another, but I'll let you go between.
I watched French Connection 2.
The sequel.
Which I had never seen.
What?
And it's fine.
Is it same characters?
Mostly, yeah. I mean, it's Hackman still plays Popeye, and Fernando Reyes still plays the French guy, and he follows him to France, and he's gonna, whatever. And I don't think this one is based on real things.
Okay, I was like, whoa.
I don't think a New York cop is allowed to go to France.
Yeah, probably not.
I think that's outside of their jurisdiction, but maybe not. And it's pretty good. It's John Frankenheimer directed it, so still a good director.
Yeah.
But it is truly 20 minutes longer than The French Connection.
Oh, wow.
And it's just one of those things where it's like, well, they got it done. They got it done in 100 minutes last time. Just go ahead and try to aim for that.
Just aim for
that.
And
there is lots of good stuff. Like, there's still cool chases and that kind of thing. I think the main thing that kind of dragged it down for me is there's this long bit in the middle where, like, Popeye is getting off drugs.
Oh, wow, dang.
And it's pretty long.
Yeah.
And it's, like, good. He's acting well, but it also is like, okay, let's just... let's turn this into, like, a little montage, of him getting off drugs. And then he's we shave a few minutes off of this guy, and then we're back.
Yeah,
let's just get back into it.
Man, a good montage. Wow,
but pretty good.
Wonders. Yeah.
I will say pretty good. Great ending.
Great
ending rules.
Whoa.
But yeah, pretty good movie.
Does it? Well, I guess I shouldn't ruin it. Maybe I should watch it.
I don't know. It's one that's tough to recommend because it's like, well, The French Connection ends just the way it should end.
Yeah.
On like a really down, sad note.
Like, oh man.
Which makes sense. That's the way it should end. So there shouldn't be more. But whatever. Hey, if you want a little more, then do that.
It's interesting to make a sequel to a real story and be like, but what if?
It is interesting.
France. Yeah.
What if he went to France
and got the bastard? Or does he?
Or does he?
Dun dun dun. He goes to France in like the first scene. He's like getting a baguette, and they just repeat. And he gets shot and killed.
That'd be fucking amazing.
Yeah.
If they had done that, I would have been like, wow, this is
real
awesome. Balls
to kill the main character.
Yeah.
On screen, folks. None of this in between the movies. They die. I hate that. That is maybe the worst sin a movie can. To me, I'm like,
we couldn't afford it.
I'm like, you sick son of a. Just don't even make the movie. Just honestly, I'd rather just leave.
Yeah.
I'll walk out. So I've been known to walk out. Oh,
I'm leaving.
Forget this.
I'm going home.
I'm going home. What else?
What else did you watch?
I was like, I was like, I need to talk about the other movie. I was like, what else did I watch? And then you were asking, what else did I watch? So I was like, whoa.
What else did I do?
What else did I tried to watch this movie that I heard was actually funny, a sleeper hit.
Okay.
Called Dix the Musical, but I cut it off within 10 minutes because I wasn't enjoying it. Sorry.
No, that's fine.
I just was like, this isn't for me. I'm sure someone's loving this, but to me, I just can't. I can't do it.
Isn't it the director of Borat or something?
Oh, maybe.
That doesn't mean it's good.
It wasn't working for, when humor is just not hitting the right way, and you're like, man, they're giving it their all. It's just not hitting.
It's the worst thing.
Yeah.
I think there's nothing worse than a comedy I don't find funny.
I know. It just really sucks.
Well, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
You know what? But before we go, I got to tell you quickly.
Ooh.
I saw Last Breath.
Oh, yes.
Starring Woody Harrelson and Simu Liu. And I hope that's how you probably don't have to do the lip thing like that. But I think that's how you pronounce it.
They prefer the lip.
Yeah. Simu. When you're with Simu, he's like, could you put the lips out? It's actually... and it's about some underwater divers, and bad things happen, and you can imagine if bad things happen as a diver, how bad it would be.
Oh God, it would suck.
And it's pretty good.
Whoa. Okay.
Like the opening is one of those kind of generic, like "I love you, I can't wait to have you back."
Yeah,
like those kind of openings, which is fine.
Yeah.
But once like the action happens, it's pretty fucking good.
It looked very intense.
It's like a completely solid generic disaster with a few people movie.
Wow.
And it's got good, just got good actors.
It looked kooky with the water stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh.
I thought it was good. I liked it. There were lots of times when I was like, and I did that probably 30 times.
That's a good amount.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Check it out.
Check it out.
We probably could have done an episode about it, but, French Connection is the French Connection.
I mean, when were we going to have a moment where this is the one time Gene Hackman was going to die? So we were like, let's just honor him. We don't even care if the podcast does bad. We wanted to honor him. Yeah. We don't care about numbers, folks.
We don't care about being rich.
No. Why do you think, if we did, why would we still be doing this? It makes no sense.
Why would we do anything?
We'd give something a month, and if it didn't make a profit, we'd move on.
Why do we even go to work?
Yeah,
why do we do work? It's not worth it.
It's not worth it, really.
It's not worth it.
Start to think about different ways of living sometimes.
Yeah.
Go,
Yeah. Or different ways of not living. These are both good options. Thanks so much for listening. don't take your life, listener and watcher.
But do take a moment.
I can't force you to not, but don't.
Just think about it. Take a nice moment. Go outside.
Yes.
Have a slice of pizza.
Breathe the air.
Do whatever you got to do. Breathe the air. Clog your artery.
Breathe the air.
Whatever you need.
Eat a burger.
Breathe the air. Eat a burger.
Tweet at us at Food Courtcast. We love when we get tweets. We love 5-star reviews. We love when you share the thing. We love when you tell a friend. These are things we love, and we wish you would do them. Mampy, thank you so much for doing this, as always. Of
course.
Sorry. Pardon me.
It's all right.
No.
No.
On behalf of you, Mampy Hikes, I'm Sean Parrott saying bon appetit.